welcome back to Let's Play Megaman 5. In the last part we beat 3 more Robot Masters, and now we're heading after the final 2, starting off with Napalm Man. I actually really like the design of this guy, especially in the Battle Network series, but we'll get to him later, although technically he was in 2's post-game. Anyway, Napalm Man. A wide variety of weapons are equipped all over his body. Good point, he's very loyal. Bad point, he's a weapon nerd. Likes negotiations and dislikes metal detectors. You know, because he's a robot filled with weapons, and that would not get past those easily. Anyway, his stage is actually kind of treacherous if you're not prepared for it, because a lot of the things in here do a lot of damage. The tigers at the beginning of the stage can be taken out with a charge shot. In fact, a lot of the stuff in this place can. But everything just does a lot of damage, pretty much. Although I do like... This is actually one of the very few times in the Megaman series where enemies do stuff like that. Walls are invisible. I don't know why it's only in this one. Also, I am getting 1-ups all over the place. I've been editing out a lot of deaths, and I still haven't gotten the game over. And these guys right here are essentially like the mice, or what's the better term? I guess the mice would be the best term, or they pretty much go right at you if you're on the same level as them. They're the kind of enemy that every Mega Man game has. Though I still find the best ones to be the ones in 8, just because they look so nice. Hey, Eddie! Eddie, I would love that normally, but I have so many already, and I kinda need some health. Also, the Sniper Geocopters are easily the most annoying enemy in the stage, just because they really try to kill you. Thank you. And here's the end, and as you can see, I missed it. Sorry, I wasn't really talking over that section much. Don't jump when you go for that end, just walk off the edge. That's how you get into that little, not really pit, but alcove, I suppose is the right word, easily. And this is actually a rather treacherous section, because we have the missiles returning from, not charge... Actually, what stage was that in? That wasn't, I forget what stage they were in. Was it Starman? I forget. Either way, they have multiple explosions, and they can actually be rather painful, and the big guy there doesn't help either. And we also have a trap section. Luckily, it's pretty easy to tell where the traps are, unlike Mega Man 9. I just have a lot of pent-up rage against 9, just because of how trap-heavy it is. Maybe that's why I haven't gone back to try and beat it again. Luckily, the stage isn't that long because we're already at the boss. Yeah, but it looks a bit, Did Gyro Man have a unique boss door? Huh. That's weird, because his boss door looks different from the rest. Anyway, Napalm Man time. Weak against the Crystal Eye. He has a lot of attacks, actually, that all involve giant explosions. The napalm bombs and missiles are pretty much what they are. The missiles fly right at you, the bombs go up in the air arcs and will hit the ground, generally right next to each other. And he's weak not only against the Crystal Eye main attack, but also against the bounces it'll do afterwards. Pretty easy boss with the weakness, otherwise he's actually kind of tough, because he does a lot of movement. But for beating him, we actually get a pretty good weapon. We got the Napalm Bomb. It's the exact same attack that he was using, where he sent bombs in the air. Except it fires forward in kind of an arc, and when it hits the ground it causes an explosion, which really hurts. Anyway, time for the last of the 8 Robot Masters. Stoneman, who actually looks quite a bit like his Battle Network counterpart. Okay then. Stoneman. His Power Stone can let stones circle around him as a shield and as a weapon. Gutsman is his friend. Good point. Technology. Okay, I don't get that. Maybe he's just a tech wizard. Bad point. Rocky persistence. Likes good movies, well, who doesn't? And dislikes Scrooge people. I'm not joking, that's actually all what it says my guess is that Megaman and Base's bios didn't have the best translator. Stoneman's stage is rather interesting. Well, first off, shoot these 2 rocks right here, because this is the only hidden letter in the game. And with that, we've gotten all 8 letters. And for what we get? What do we get for getting all of them? Beat the Bird. Beat is actually rather awesome. He goes after enemies directly and actually does a good amount of damage. He'll actually be very useful during the final boss fights. As for what Beat is himself, if you remember Cossack, the guy who made the Robot Masters from 4, Cossack made him as an apology for doing all the stuff he did in 4, and also as a thank you for saving his daughter Kalinka from Wily. So he'll be showing up from now on, although I've already done 6, so you've already seen him there. And I actually already did 7, too. Huh. Oh wow, the only classic game that I can really do easily that I haven't played is 8. And I'm still throwing the idea around in my head of doing Mega Man and Base. But I'll get more into that later. What is the rock texture? Well, not really texture, but the rock pattern remind me of? Does it remind me of Zelda 2? No. Crystallis? Maybe. It's probably nothing. You know what? It probably reminds me of Drill Man's stage, actually. Really? Stone Man's stage isn't really that hard. It has some tricky parts. In fact, the only tricky part in the stage is really coming up fairly soon. Within, like, the next minute and a half, maybe? Actually, this is a pretty tricky part because of all the enemies that are around. Charge shots are your best way to take care of the orange guys because it takes them down in 1 hit. In fact, I will say the charge shot here in 5 is actually really good. A lot of enemies will go down in 1 hit from it. Oh, why is the rocks blue on the... Oh, then, I was about to ask, why are the rocks on the right blue? But then I just realized, oh right, NES scrolling, it did that stuff. And that's actually kind of why the black bar on the left is actually a bit wider than the one on the right, just due to the way that NES scrolling works. Anyway, this life is pretty tricky to get. You have to jump above the screen, technically, to get it. This is the only game in the series that does stuff like that, too, as far as I can remember. Well, yeah, only a classic series that I can remember that does it, for a fact. Although I think Mega Man and Base and maybe 8 does something similar. I know the X series does it. Hell, X2, that's how you got the Heart Tank in Wire Sponge's stage. Ooh, E-Tank! I'm gonna go for that. This is actually a surprisingly tricky to time jump, because I can never actually get up there. I can only actually grab it. If you fail to get it, and you want all those platformers back, just get on top of that one. You'll have scrolled far enough off screen for them to respawn. Hi, Eddie. I love you, Eddie. Actually, from what I remember... Actually, I forget, did Cossack make Eddie, or was that Light? I can't remember. I know Eddie is in the old Ruby Spears cartoon, but that Eddie is a bit of an odd Eddie. Then again, everything in that show's kinda odd. That's why I love it. A lot of lives for some reason. Anyway, we're actually that looks to be a unique boss door as well. Do a lot of the bosses have unique doors? It's probably just my mind playing tricks on me. I know. Anyway, Stoneman, I actually used to go after first, but then I realized Chargeman was a bit easier to take care of for a weakness order. He's weak against the Napalm Bomb, and every time you hit him with it when he's on the ground, he'll crumble like that. In fact, that's his main attack pattern, jumping, and on the third jump, he'll crumble. In fact, I think if he takes damage in general when he's on the ground, he'll crumble. His other attack is to send some sort of rock at you, but he didn't seem to do it much. And I think that's actually what his ability is that he gives us. Overall, pretty easy fight, especially due to his weakness. Then again, that's a given. And for beating him, we get Power Stone, which is not an awesome Dreamcast fighter, but instead a really terrible ability. I actually forget what it does. I never use it. I might just use it at the beginning of the next part to show it off. Anyway, it's time to head after Proto Man. He kidnapped Dr. Light, and now it's time to take care of him, and that's actually a really cool-looking castle, I'm not gonna lie. Though for some reason it looks like a ship, because the things on the bottom left and right look like wings to me. And I gotta say, I haven't really commented on this game's soundtrack much, because it's kind of meh. But I will say, I love, love, love this castle theme. Also, oddly pink sky. Anyway, Proto Man 1 here is actually the reason I really used to really hate this game. Because while I might not like it now, you should have seen me on my first playthrough. I was pretty much saying this is the worst game ever. No. I'll get more into my opinions of games and such in the credits, so yeah. The white tigers here, other than just being recolors of the tigers from Napalm Man stage, do a lot of damage, so watch out for that. They go down in one shot, though. That jump I missed there, you can actually make that, but I couldn't for some reason. I know for a fact you can make it normally. Also, throughout the entire castle, try and keep Rush Coil, Jet, and Super Arrow towards their max, because they're really useful here. So trying to keep them as full as possible and refill them as often as possible. You know, I thought I was dying a lot and I still somehow have 9 lives. That's one weird thing about this game. I swear the live drop rate is really high compared to other ones. Or maybe I'm just being absurdly lucky. Being a normal end castle, we're obviously going to see a lot of the old enemies along with some new ones. I don't know why I walked further to the right. I could have just done something which I'm going to try and do here and then get killed. I don't think there was actually a way I could have avoided that effectively with that mass save state of use. So pretty much just rush Jet here in actuality, and you'll get over everything, no problem. Ow. I will say, that's actually one thing I've realized with this game. If there's ever, like, a little alcove that has an item in it that's below you, just don't jump off the edge, just walk off of it. That's, for some reason, the way that it works. And hey, this guy again! And he dies really quickly still. And coming up is the reason I really hated this stage as a... well, not as a kid. I didn't play this until 2006. When I first played it, these guys are back! And they're really annoying. But Rush, Jet, and Coil just destroys them. However, with this Rush Coil section, don't jump directly off the spikes. Make it so that Rush lands on the actual platforming. My grammar just sucks. Well, most of the time. And these weird little eye circle guys, which remind me a lot of Bon for some reason. They'll actually never hurt you. They'll go over to you, and then they'll circle around you, and then they won't do anything as far as I'm aware. Pretty easy. Anyway, upcoming boss is weak against water waves, so get that out. And it's a tank guy. This guy actually has a name, but I'm not going to go into what that is until the final level of the castle for reasons. Every time you hit him, that's generally when he actually fires. And around half health he gets faster, but overall, nothing to write home about at all. If you die to that, you're either doing it on purpose, or you're just really bad at what you're doing. Or you're half asleep. One of the three. But with that, I'm going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching. Rate, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And next time on Let's Play Mega Man 5, we'll be continuing on in Proto Man's Castle. See you guys then.